Yo, welcome everybody to yet another Jurassic Justin episode. Today we're going to be looking at the making of the Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic World Evolution. It is a pretty cool IGN video, and I will put the link to the actual video down in the description. Credit is due, definitely, because this is pretty nifty. So let's kill the music and let us get started. Now, I'm not going to, again, bother with doing a preview, like watching the entirety of it, because it's 7 minutes long. We don't have time for that. You don't want to sit through that. I know you don't. So let's get to it, and I'll try to find the bits and pieces that I wanted to talk about today. So let's just get it started and go from there. All right? Turn that down though, because whoo!
We
All
basically
right.
have the in-game information on scientific facts.
Let's
and
do
starting point, but we need to
this.
make sure that it fits in line with what people expect from the movies.
People have worked out the stride patterns of the T-Rex. They've worked it out from its bone structure, from like footprints they found in. So our animators really do a lot of research. And so the T-Rex that you...
All right. So I like what we're being told here. They are talking about the fact that they actually did a lot of groundwork research when deciding how to animate these creatures. They didn't just look at the movies. They looked at scientific fact. They looked at paleontological, that's the word, I think, evidence of how these creatures moved. Everything probably from the distance between footprints to, God dang it, to, fossil records. I mean, Sue, which is what Rexy is based off of, because she is the largest specimen that we have ever uncovered. So that's cool. I like it.
you see, as I say, is a blend between real science and Jurassic science. So it's as authentic as we can make it on both levels.
One of the first things we did was go through all of the films and just break down all of those moments from the films and try and make sure that we were getting it as right as possible. Obviously, CG animation's come a long way since those original scenes, but the thing that they really nailed is the drama and the character of the dinosaurs.
In our game, they've got slightly more temperamental kind of behaviour. They won't put up with a sort of a lack of comfort as much as other dinosaurs might in terms of their...
Okay, so this is very JPOG. If you recall from Operation Genesis, your larger carnivores were very intolerant of you not meeting their needs. And as a result, that usually meant that they were attacking the fences or going into a rampage, right? And it looks like we're going to get a lot of the same here. And that's not a bad thing. I think that is probably pretty accurate. You're trying to contain a dinosaur that has a killer instinct and is over 40 feet long within a pin. And as, Alan Grant said, the T-Rex doesn't want to be fed, it wants to hunt, right? So all of that's coming into play here, and kudos to them for maintaining that. Though it's not a shocker.
actual kind of characteristics and their stats, trying to base it as much as possible on science facts, mixed with a bit of kind of ensuring that we get.
Alright, let's see. Alright, so let's
Its
skip
behaviour
ahead a
demonstrates
bit.
all its needs, its health, its food requirements, its consumption, its metabolic rates. And yeah, by using all these stats, we're forming this almost like a behaviour matrix for each dinosaur, and that affects the moment to moment.
So apparently they have come out and said that dinosaurs will vary in their level of violence that they display towards each other. Oh, I gotta stop recording so late, I apologize. But now this is what they consider a dominance stance, where they're going to pick at each other and try to establish a pecking order. you can tell that the Rex that struck first is not going for the kill. So, I mean, based on today's information given by the developer, we can then assume that this is a dominance stance sort of thing. So I think that's kind of cool. I think that it's nifty that we don't always get the same animations.
Gameplay. T-Rexes, for example, like some grassland, but because they're an ambush predator.
See, and I like that they also included the fact that in their minds, and according to what science believes at this point, the Tyrannosaurus was an ambush predator, probably also a scavenger. I think most carnivores back in this time period were probably opportunistic. They probably took what they could get. You know, a Rex isn't going to come across a dead, you know, like a dead sauropod, even though most of those were from the Jurassic, the Rex from the Cretaceous. They weren't going to turn that down, and that makes perfect sense. And so they would have dealt with that. But if they were going to hunt, they were going to use the trees and kind of lay and wait, kind of like a largemouth bass. Largemouth bass are a predatory fish. They can get quite large as far as large predatory freshwater fish get. I mean, I think the world record's around 25 pounds, which is not that impressive when you consider the Wells catfish can get over 200. But because this is a predatory ambush predator, you know, pretty cool. So I like that. You have to have a little bit of forest, but it seems like primarily open plains, so that your Rex has plenty of open space to roam. Kind of like The Sims, where you would want your sim to have maximum environment rating. Oh, shoot. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, so we will
So you need
skip
have
to
some
this.
forest in your enclosure, otherwise
I like that sniffing animation. I think that's cool. You know, tracking prey down by using the old nose. Follow your nose wherever it goes. Like Toucan Sam used to say when I was thinking about enjoying some Fruit Loops.
they become sort of unhappy. So it's like using real science.
Alright, let's see
Hopefully
here.
the player will learn that there are gameplay reasons for this, and they'll be able to try.
Alright,
and
so let's skip
get
to the roar.
One of the interesting things with the T-Rex is that the T-Rex in Jurassic World sounds different from the T-Rex from 1993.
Is that not iconic as hell? My green screen is definitely showing. Look at it. Oh, nope. Oh. Weird. If I put my hand up, you can't see it because it's off screen. It stops. Alright. I'll just
First thing
keep my
we got
hand
was
up.
The assets from Jurassic World.
Ooh. Ah. Alright, so pretty nifty.
So these are great samples, but they're not the same length as what we need. So we take a sound like that, and then we try and deconstruct it. And one of the things we did is we taken the start, the middle, and the end as an idea. And if you have those things separate, you can create shorter and longer loops, because at any point you can say, oh, we stop here and play the end sound, which nicely overlaps. So that's
Alright, so they go over this process where they actually would have the animators show them what they had done. They would make a sound. Then the animators would go back and make sure that it matched that sound. So that's pretty cool. You got multiple teams within the same studio making sure that they work together. And in this day and age, that sounds like a no-brainer, but you would be very surprised at how often that sort of stuff does not happen.
it's one of these calls we just heard, but it's now cut to size. And
Alright, let's see. And then they talk about...
start making small, very few layers of her own.
they talk about
The nice thing there
the
is
sounds
that
they
in this
added.
case, if you would play just the layers that we added to this T-Rex. Those are our own layers, stuff we added.
So you can see that they actually added a lot of bass to the roar. I think that's a pretty cool decision. I think that makes it sound fuller because they got the Jurassic World versions, and I feel like the Jurassic Park version had a lot more depth and a lot more rumble. So I think that's their attempt at recreating that, and I think that's pretty nifty. That is super cool.
Attitudes. It's quiet in the mix, but by adding those layers, by adding to the recipe, so one of the techniques we use is we get these kind of finished sounds, like a ready meal almost, and then we start thinking about, okay, what are the ingredients in this? What did they use to make this meal?
Alright.
Like, okay, there's probably a lion in there. And probably
So now they talk about the animation of the Tyrannosaurus.
The animation team we've got Frontier is fantastic. There was a lot of back and forth with them sending us different stages.
Alright, so you can see that there is a lot going on here. It is far beyond my comprehension. But what is cool is that the Rex was, as they confirm in this video, one of the first dinosaurs that they did. And so a lot of the in-depth animation work that they did for the Rex is actually the basis for all the other dinosaurs. Because when you're doing a Jurassic Park game, obviously one of the things that you want to make sure that you get right is the Tyrannosaurus. I mean,
Sound design.
they'd make us an animation with a roar.
you can't screw that up.
The sound, and they take the
It's
sound
bad
and actually
news.
change their animation to the roar a little bit, so that it fits even better together, and that's so fantastic about
All right, now
really wants the
So we
more
started-
animation.
Obviously, we're making a Jurassic IP, and we want to make sure it's as close to that as possible. So we do start with the films, but then we start to look properly at some Big Bird reference, but also just other work. It's important for us that it really.
Alright, so they talk about in this segment how they used a combination of the movies along with inspiration from large birds to make sure that these creatures felt as alive as possible, because in the Jurassic Park franchise you don't get a lot of relaxed normal behavior. I mean, think about it. When have you ever seen the T-Rex on screen when it wasn't trying to either devour something or fight something? Not a lot. It's very rare, if at all, honestly. So, pretty nifty.
It's like a living creature, so we try and make sure that it looks like it's got an internal thought process, and that it isn't just this kind of very accurate robot. It actually is an animal.
The dinosaurs need to look like dinosaurs you see in the films. They're not scientifically accurate in their representation based on what our like real world scientists would do, but they need to look like universal dinosaurs, and that was a key thing that.
I think it's nice right here that they do in fact acknowledge that these are not scientifically accurate dinosaurs, and that's okay, because as a Jurassic Park game and as Jurassic Park fans, that's not what we're wanting. That's not what we're going for.
Of just trying to do both of those things, make them as scientifically as accurate as possible, but adapting them so that.
How dinosaurs look and move comes from.
All right,
films,
now-
to make sure it's accurate.
This portion of the video actually caused quite a stir because people thought that your dinosaurs age, right? Because you can see the Rex that is closer to us looks, you know, fuller, less wrinkly, more vivid in color. The muscular structure is more, I don't know, not saggy, right? So a lot of people assumed that what this was them confirming that your dinosaurs age. That's wrong. As Best in Shot actually recently confirmed today that the Frontier, they have come out and said, no, this isn't aging. This is what happens when your Tyrannosaurus is getting very ill. So you can see up close you have a healthy Tyrannosaurus, and then in the distance you have your sickly Tyrannosaurus. So it's not age, but it is health, right? They do have an age bar, much. I mean, they didn't really in JPOG, but they did have, you know, like a it survived 3 out of 5 years, you know, sort of thing. So this is kind of an extension of that and an improvement.
accurate to those as possible. So we always just try to get as much reference as
But you can see why people would have been mistaken due to the additional wrinkles and stuff in the Rex that's further on the right. I get it. I actually thought the same thing when I first saw it.
we could from the films, try and interpret that as much. I mean, we've all watched the films a million times over, so we know them well. We know what works, and we know the character.
Huh. His face. It's a good face. Look at that. Am I doing it right? Yeah, let's get away from that, because that's just funny and I feel bad. There we go. Alright, so hey everybody, thank you so much. The rest of the video honestly was them being like, wow, we animated this and it was super cool to see it animated. Hooray! But I will have a link in the description, and let me know what you guys think about the dinosaurs actually showing their health via physical, like physical symptoms, dull color, kind of a sagging tail, stuff like that. I think that's pretty nifty because it gives you another indicator of, you know, hey, which dinosaur do I need to dart and then vaccinate, right? But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it ran longer than I had intended. If you enjoyed the video, you want to check out more, please do hit the subscribe button. Worst case scenario, you hit the like button, which also actually really helps the channel out, so I would definitely appreciate that as well. And otherwise, you can look forward to me streaming Jurassic World Evolution at twitch.tv/JustinLee12, and I hope to see you all there as we approach the release of this game. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.